Hello everyone, I'm Milo and welcome to my town. In this video I wanted to share a complete and thorough guide on the best method for money farming on the postgame of Yakuza Like a Dragon. While some of the steps that I'll be showing are relatively known, I wanted to aim for a full, true comprehensive guide on the entire process so that there's no stone left unturned. First, I'll be describing the when, why, and how you can do the method, and all the tools you'll need for it to be set up and performed. Let's start with the when. When should you do this? Given that this is the post game, I'd recommend you try this method when your party is already at max level and rank. This is so that your stats are high enough to swiftly dispatch the enemies that you need with little to no off time in between. That leads into the why. Why should you even do this? And the answer is simple: to prepare for the true final Millenium Tower. More specifically, if you want to get the best weapons in the game, you'll be needing a whole lot of cash. To put it into perspective, for each job there is one weapon which can be upgraded to its highest stats on its category, and then further enhanced until it reaches rank EX. Ignoring the amount needed to obtain the weapon itself, going from its base form to the final possible rank costs a whopping 96.5 million yen. With the method that I'll show you, you can actually get 75.5 million yen per run, so every max weapon needs at least more than one run through. However, I would say to maximize your chances of success on the true Millenium Tower, having at least 4 party members wield their EX weapons would help. Of course, you're more than welcome to go for all of them, if you wish. With all this money you can also buy almost anything in the game, but upgrading the max weapon is what takes the most in general. Finally, with all of that said, let's get into the how you can truly do this. If you hadn't guessed yet, the method itself is running through the regular final Millenium Tower to get the big money rewards from bosses. You can technically get even more money in the true final, but the enemies have such high stats that doing it for the money will seem to take too much more time and effort. Plus, for most players, the better reason for getting the money is to beat that tower itself, just the one time. Anyway, before we go, we need some preparations. First, the recommended skills. You'll need a few skills from certain jobs to help you clear the enemies fast. The first one is the fulminating forecast from the fortune teller. Also, get from both the host and the hostess jobs the ice spreader skill. Finally, while not 100% required, having Megaton throw from the foreman can be helpful, as well as Candle Rush from the Night Queen. This is just to have fire coverage. Hopefully you've acquired the orbital laser skill from the management mode too. It is very powerful and helps a lot. For the party, while you could try other formations, use what I went with. Firstly, Ichiban as a hero, Jungi-han as a hitman. These two I'd recommend that you stick to, mainly Jungi-han as he's the main damage dealer. For my other two, I had Eddie as an idol and Namba as a homeless. For Eddie, I mostly ended up using her ruler attack, Shadow Stitch, and then the candle when needed, so her job wasn't all that relevant, she just happened to be idle for me. Namba is used for his high magic stat and his Kiwami fire type nuke, helpful on some encounters. Hopefully you'll have a max rank on all of the classes that you use. Once you're set on getting those skills, the next step is getting the proper equipment needed for the setup. For this, we need 7 copies of the Nobuo Rich Crown. You can get one of these from the part-time hero rescue mission of defeating 10 sluggers, but it can also be crafted at the Romance Workshop once it hits max rank. You'll need 2 pairs of some golden bugs in order to craft one. Luckily, these bugs can be easily acquired in the first 4 floors of the Sotenbori Battle Arena. You'll want to head there and enter from floor 1. Here's how I quickly defeated the waves. You need to meet the specific conditions in its battle, but max level should make them pretty easy. For the first, I aimed at fulminating the forecast to one of the pirates, and for the second one to the other one. If the RNG hit them both twice, then that should be it. If not, a single regular attack should finish them. For the second floor, you can do the exact same thing, or pass the turn to Namba and have him use his nuke. For the third, since there's many enemies, I prefer to use the orbital lasers to quickly dispatch them. Finally, on the fourth, the objective is to win without using skills, so previously set your auto battle to not use skills, and then just activate it and they should go down easily. Once you beat the 4th floor, turn back and leave for the entrance. You'll have to repeat this until you have enough bucks to craft the remaining crowns you need. Once you do that, craft the items and equip them into each character's headgear slot. Now simply for this, you'll be earning double the money on each encounter. But we're not quite done yet. The final piece is to stock up on Sengoku coffees. This item, when drank in battle, boosts the amounts of money earned even further, allowing you to get 2.5 times the money in each encounter. There's a vending machine just outside of Millenium Tower that has them, so you'll be restocking in the middle of every attempt in here. With that preparation set, we can finally go into the tower itself. For the sake of convenience, I'll recap what you should do on each of the encounters you have to fight. And as a bonus, I'll pinpoint whenever there's useless materials that you can collect. Stuff like metal or raw ores, which are the main things that you'll be needing to upgrade the max rank weapons. Simple materials like the ones that you can just buy at the material store in Ijincho, I won't be mentioning. Moreover, I also recommend setting the useful moves to the skill picker, so you don't have to navigate through the menus. I'll be narrating the strats to best go through the fights. Sometimes I actually messed up on the recorded footage, so don't mind those. It's all in the interest of doing it really quick. Equipment is not that important besides the crowns, but I did have some high agility boots on both Jungi-han and Eddie, though I think their raw stats carry them regardless. I also recommend equipping an anti-fear accessory on at least Ichiban. This is to counter the Amon fear move. As for weapons, hopefully you have at least the base version of the best weapon per job, given that you're likely on the process of upgrading them to the max. And we're off! On the first floor you can actually run past the subjugation coons if your PC or console is a little bit old. If they do load in time, you can actually just run for them. It is the only encounter in the tower that allows you to run from it. On the next floor, the first item pickup is a pearl. Then, if you want to grab an iron ingot, go into the room to the left. There is an enemy here that is actually weak to ice, but he died faster with 2 uses of Phantom Dive as Jungi-han. I should mention that my Jungi-han had such high agility that he often went twice in a row, so that's how this is possible. You can defeat him and grab the iron ingot and then go for the next fight. Mr. 6 should go down with 1 use of Assassin type, and then the Slugger is weak to either electricity or knives. I think he's tanky enough to not die on 1 hit, so you'll have to attack twice. Next room, use Fulminating Forecast on the Chinese officer, then finish the smuggler with a blade attack. Upcoming is the first boss. Please drill it into your head to use the Sengoku coffee as early as you can. I would literally keep repeating coffee, 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 coffee as I approach the encounters as to not forget, because during my attempts at money farming I did end up forgetting a few times, and this just slows you down in general. Once you've applied the coffee, all you need to do is shower him with ice. He melts easily with it. At around 40% of his health, you won't be able to deal further damage until he gets his aura, so pass the time until the end and then finish him with more ice. You can pick up a high density metal on the left and a ruby at the right side of the elevators. Of course, 2 stamina and XX on the briefcases as well. I'd advise to always pick them up since they'll be useful MP recoveries on the true final Millenium Tower, and they're just there already, so why not? Just know that I won't be mentioning them anymore, but they are always at the end of the bosses. On to the next floor, go straight to the enemies and hit the chef with an assassin dive. It will likely take 2 hits to finish him off. For the exhibitionist, use fire attacks. The next encounter is one of the more annoying ones. The lone shark is weak to ice, so I suggest lowering him with it. The juggler is weak to fire, so some attacks plus Namba's Pyro Prison Nuke should get him. Then just hammer away to finish the lone shark. The room to the left has no enemy, but it holds a platinum ore. On the following encounter, the Yakuza is weak to knives, so just Phantom Drive him twice, while the Cardiff is weak to electric. Fulminating Forecast or Orbital Laser should get him. If the Yakuza succeeded in calling backup, he should die to the multi-hit attacks. For the next fight they're all weak to electric, so hopefully a Fulminating Forecast paralyzes some or all of them. My Jungi-han's magic wasn't high enough to finish them in the second attack, so going for an Orbital Laser should guarantee the victory. There's a healing cooler in the next room, so get patched up, grab another platinum, and go to the next floor. Up next, the fun guy is tanky enough to leap 2 phantom dives, so he'll most likely get to attack. For the drunk, use electric. Next is a trio of mad doctors. Just use electric skills on them, and hopefully they get paralyzed and don't attack, as their elemental attacks are relatively long and they take their good time positioning for them. The room to your right will have a golden dragonfly and a moth. Up to you if you want to grab them. Then you go for Majima, who is actually rather fragile. Drink your coffee, and I'm pretty sure that a single fire skill plus Namba's nuke can KO him easily. Grab a gold ingot in the counter and you can proceed. On to the next floor. This first fight they're all weak to electric, but they all have pretty lengthy attacks if they do get to act, so you have to kind of sit through them. I'm fairly sure that one fulminating forecast plus one orbital laser should be enough for a wipe. You can grab a sapphire at this table and then head to the next encounter. You have to spread out your attacks as they don't share weaknesses much. My footage shows differently, but I'd mainly recommend fulminating forecast, a knife attack on the cultist, and then Namba or Ichiban nukes. That should clear the encounter. Go through the rooms, and for this next encounter, do Phantom Drive twice on the fighter, and then as Namba use your nuke, plus some other attack on the bush guy should clear it. I really screwed up on my recording, so I'll just hit my words. At the end of the corridor you can get another pearl and a sapphire, and as you head up to the stairs, a golden moth. Next is the final normal encounter. Both are weak to electric. 2 fulminating forecasts plus an orbital laser should melt them. On this counter here there's a gold ingot, and then you can get heals plus a raw diamond in the break room. The next fight is Tendo. He is weak to electric. Drink your coffee and then a single fulminating forecast plus an orbital laser should be enough. Just before the stairs there is a golden dragonfly. Second to last floor. Heal up and head to Kiryu. Drink your coffee and melt him with ice. I'll just use 2 turns to hit, then pass the turn until he changes style. He won't take further damage until that happens. Repeat until he's down. Grab an additional diamond and a cough drop tin, and you're up to the final floor. Amon is not that bad when we are so strong. He still has to face change just like Kiryu. Drink your coffee first. I honestly forgot it here most of the times due to the added cutscene in between. It is easier to hit with Kiwami or range attacks mainly. I mostly use the Phantom Drive and Shadow Stitch. Again, when you notice he's no longer taking damage, pass the turn and repeat until he gets to the malicious green attack. He should scare everyone except whoever had the anti-fear accessory. If Ichiban's magic is at the right spot, he should be finished with a single use of your orbital laser, despite him resisting it. And with that, you've done it! I timed this specific attempt and it took me about 19 minutes, so that's what it mostly takes to rerun the tower knowing what to do. Don't forget to go refill on Sengoku coffees after an attempt is completed. And if you feel inclined, you can also go to Ijinchu to upgrade your weapons between attempts. If you did every fight like I showcased, you should be getting exactly 75,508,900 yen per attempt. And that is it! The best way to get money on Yakuza Like a Dragon. While you can technically get even more on the true final Millenium Tower, beating it takes a considerable amount of additional effort on each fight, and it is no longer a speedy process. Plus, I don't believe that there are many players that are willing to upgrade all the weapons once they have beaten the hardest gauntlet in the game. If anything, they get them of the weapons for that purpose. Even I could not bother to go all the way there. I did do everything else in the game. But if you want to go for it, then by all means. Anyway, that is all for now. I do plan to make another video about the entire game as a whole for my Completions Way series, so make sure to check it out as well. With that being said, don't forget, you'll always be welcome in my town. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.